Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, Shaker Heights varsity hockey fans. It is good to be back. My name is Vaughn Ullum, former broadcaster for the Shaker Heights Red Raider Ice Hockey Squad, and today we enter into the Thornton Park Ice Arena Tournament. That's with Shaker Heights being the host team, and they're playing the very first game of the tournament here. 5:15 set puck drop. Of course, you got the warm-ups with 1:30 left to go here on the ice. But entering into today, they're going up against the Benedictine Bengals, and the Bengals are coming in to actually a pretty solid start. They're coming off of a victory against Holy Name in their last tournament, and that puts them at rank number 32 in the OHSAA state rankings. Shaker Heights, on the other hand, set at number 20, typically where they are going to be always to start out the season. Maybe they'll drop, maybe they'll rise a little bit, as we saw a couple of years back. Last year, however, they ended things more in the lower 20s. But we'll see how it goes here in this tournament with some big wins, and hopefully for Shaker Heights, a tournament victory that can put them up into the lower teens. But in that last Thornton Park tournament, we saw Shaker Heights get the victory over Strongsville, an expected win for Shaker Heights. They were off to a slow start, came back, got the large, sizable victory that time. Then they lost to Rocky River, who would eventually go out with a 2-1 victory over Walsh Jesuit and take the tournament as their own. But for Shaker, then the third place game went as a went as a victory to Menor. So Shaker Heights was able to finish third in their home tournament. For Benedictine, on the other hand, losses down the line. Lost to the champion Rocky River to start things out, then lost to Rocky River, and then lost to Padua Franciscan in an 8-1 sizable victory for the GLHL opponent in Padua that Shaker Heights will be playing later on. Padua right now actually the number 1 opponent in the GLHL currently. But Shaker Heights entering into today coming off of a big loss to Gilmore Academy. We'll see how that plays in this game as well, but we're going to take a moment and get you down to the ice level for player introductions and the national anthem. Thanks for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum back on the call with you.
Holy Name was their last.
Holy Name was last one?
Holy Name was their last game. Oh, so they played Holy Name on the 30th.
Ladies and gentlemen, the concession stand is open in the lobby.
It's a tournament, so there's no difference.
All right, not even for the start of the tournament do we get the player introductions. That's how it's going to be for the remainder of the tournament, it seems. No national anthem either. So starting things off on the first line of offense, Colin Art to take the puck drop, but it's won back by Benedictine. So Benedictine here with a quick turnover in the neutral zone, taken here by Cole Richards, sending it up into the attacking zone. And here on the opposite side of the ice, Benedictine will take it back. They were looking for a big-time rush out of number 3. That was Rzepka, but he lost it, and in doing so went all the way down the ice and goes for an icing. So a lot of quick action that time, a lot of scrambling for puck possession, but no one really soundly took it away. 14:42 left to go here in the first period, so that's also something of note. Something you see out of the early games this season was 17-minute periods. This day, we are back to 15-minute periods. So same as it was last year. So here, Benedictine wins this face-off. Good work that time by number 6, Max Roulette. Battle for puck possession here in the near side corner of the attacking zone for Shaker Heights. Here it's a battle lost that time by number 11, Max Brokaw. Also joined this time by Isaac Lazar on that second forward line. Now here, once again, to the far side. Taken over this time, Axel Schneider. Schneider in that second line with Brokaw and Lazar. Stolen away by the men in navy blue. Kept in just barely by Axel Schneider along the blue line. Handled now by number 47, Luca Bucci. Bucci sends it around into the near side, banks it off the boards. And this is just going to be a dump and chase for the Bengals. It was roulette to dump it down, but Max Brokaw trying to take advantage of the change? No, he's just going to dump this one down himself and get the changes for his side. So here, we come out of a bad turnover here. Pass back, not the move looking for it that time was number 22, Dylan Orsepke, coming into his sophomore year on defense. Tried to drop it back into the slot, but nothing doing. So here we actually get the first line of offense back out. 13 and a half left to go here in the first period of play. In this first line, you're seeing Connor Mayhew, the leading goal scorer of last season. This pass going to go awry in front of the red line and center ice. The pass intended for number 11, Logan Heston. Now here in Shaker Heights territory, stolen away by Colin Arth. Arth going to leave it here for Connor Mayhew. Mayhew skating it up through the middle, looking for a shot. He'll try to flip it on net, but it'll go wide off to the right side. Shaker still in control. Ripping the shot this time is Richard. Good save made that time by the starting goaltender, number 27, Jeremy Aid. Aiding his team that time. This pass to the near side. The cross-ice feed to number 11, Logan Heston once again. But once again, Heston unable to control. Here in the neutral zone, Elliot Hanna with his third line of offense about to join him as well. Gavi Lappin sends it. Tries to bank it off the boards to the near side. Elliot Hanna, where he was set up in that neutral zone. It'll go awry. Benedictine trying to get their first offensive attack started, and they'll get it here on a bad turnover right in front of Mario Scaler, just their starting goaltender here for the Red Raiders, faced with his first shot on goal, but Benedictine still in control here. This shot, no one in the lane that time. He had two defensemen in front of him. Or I suppose two Raiders in front of him, but both McGinnis and Lappin were not set up to block the shot, so an easy lane. Hopefully that's not something that continues for the men in white and red. Here to the blue line, McGinnis looks for the shot, trying to tip out in front, but nothing doing. It'll go up and into the netting. Just over 12 minutes left to go here in this first period. No one's yet, or I suppose someone yet to score. 0-0. Your current stalemate. Calaire just takes a little skate on his own side. Number 27, Aid, staying put in his crease. This face-off taken over to the wing. Max Brokaw tried to get control of it, and eventually he will, but he'll send it wide off to the right side. Just along that far side face-off circle. But now here to the far side, the shot taken in as he enters into the attacking zone. And now he's held up behind the net. All of that being done by Ty Jones of the Benedictine squad. Now here's a shot from the blue line. That goes nowhere as three bodies in the lane in front of Mario Scalergis. 11:35 left to go in the first period. Taking over Isaac Lazar. Lazar skating it up the near side, coming into his sophomore year. He'll try to center this one back to his other sophomore, Max Brokaw. They shared a lot of ice time last year, no different here. But here we're going to get a change as they lose puck possession. But in the neutral zone, Benedictine going to try to get something started. Nothing doing for them so far. Shaker, on the other hand, a little bit of sustained pressure. Arth taking it up the near side. Burst of speed. Takes the shot. Blocker save. It'll go off the blocker and up and into the ceiling. So officially out of play. 11:07 left to go here in this first period. 0-0 still your score. They're going to keep this first line offense out there in the form of Sebi Juan on the right wing. Connor Mayhew on the left. Arth to take this face-off once again, trying to get it around the referee, but he'll lose the puck in doing so, taken over by Eschke. And trying to clear it out, but here at the point, kept in for just an extra moment. That time, Teddy McGinnis keeping it in at the point. Up in the far side corner, Mayhew trying to get it back over to Arth, who falls on his rear. A lot of snow on his behind now, but no extra shot to be taken here, except on the Raider logo the shot is taken, that time by Sebi Juan. Didn't exactly have any room to maneuver. Decided to pull the trigger anyway. So here it's Juan back with it, over to Richard. Richard tries to rip at the point. Trying to look for the tip that time was Connor Mayhew, nothing doing. Still scoreless to this point, 10:20 left to go in the first. As Benedictine clears this one down the length of the ice, no icing. As the alternate captain Colin Arth gets back to it, loses puck possession right in front of Kalergis's net, looking to get it back as one of the two Bengals set up in front, or I suppose one of the three. But now here at the point, Max Brokaw with a good burst of speed could make this a good 2-on-2 rush. Here comes the shot, looking 5-hole. The save made by the butterfly save of Jeremy Aid. 10 minutes left to go now here in the first period. 0-0 remains your score. Shaker Heights, however, looking like the team that can definitely break through first. We'll see if they can here as the face-off is to the left side of Jeremy Aid. Lazar sends it back. This shot from Ursepke, or excuse me, yes, Dylan Ursepke. Kick save, sent it into the far side boards. It's taken all the way back here. Handled by number 2, Cam Mayhew. And eventually we go all the way up to Max Brokaw. Brokaw going to send it up to Axel Schneider. Schneider loses it as he was pressured from behind by Luca Bucci. Good defensive work that time by Bucci on the back check to get back and get that puck possession to fall out of the hands of Axel Schneider. So now here, Max Brokaw and Axel Schneider lose it this time, and here comes a breakaway opportunity, but a good poke out of Marios Kaler just sends it away. That time it was Mason Urzepka who had that breakaway opportunity, but once again, he was also pressured from behind. Didn't have a good time for when he could pull the trigger, so Marios Kaler just took advantage of the awkward placement here on the other side. Max Brokaw with the shot from way out wide. Not exactly a high percentage shot. Decided to take it anyway. And Aid once again with the save. Now Jeremy Aid, not exactly the biggest goaltender we've ever seen, but he's making it happen so far. Right now already with 8 saves for him. Marios Kaler just only with 3 to this point. He hasn't been pressured too hard so far. 9 minutes left to go here in the first. This one wrapped around the boards. Trying to keep it in that time was McGinnis, but it'll be very offsides. Eventually getting back to the neutral zone was Shaker. Now here a 2-on-2. Here comes the shot. Good stick save and sent out of play on that far side corner. So Shaker definitely with a lot of better sustained pressure opportunities. On the other hand, the Bengals are having a lot more bursts of energy in big bursts down the length of the ice that have put them into good positions, as you just saw there. We'll see who can actually pop one through first. And we'll see if we even get it in the first period. This one's sent behind the net of Kalergis. Teddy McGinnis and Cole Richard work to get it out. Here's Elliot Hanna along the right wing, trying to center it over and almost got a good opportunity that time from Lappin. No can do. It says Jeremy Aid still set up in the crease for Benedictine. This one's sent to the neutral zone, off the stick of a Bengal past the red line of center ice. So this one will not go for icing. Cole Richard sets up, slows things down. Connor Mayhew sends it further through the neutral zone, but no can do as it was only Bengals set up in front of him. Less than 8 minutes to go now in this first period. Battle for puck possession along the point. Richard comes out with it looking for a shot. No, he'll try to pass it over to the opposite side where Connor Mayhew was going to try to make a move up into the slot. Once again, loss of possession on the pass. Here Connor Mayhew going to try to get it back here in the high slot, but the Bengals able to get there. Seems right place, right time right now, but here definitely not the case as that pass falls right onto the stick of Connor Mayhew. Mayhew from the neutral zone dumps this one in, gets one last change for the defense of Shaker. That's Dylan Ursepke. We'll see if his line mate joins him in just a moment, but for now Cole Richard just keeping it in at the blue line. He'll dump it further into the zone and around the boards. It looks like now he's creeping closer to the Red Raider bench. Not going for the change just yet. Sebi Juan is doing so. Max Brokaw fresh off the bench will poke it forward in the neutral zone. Richard with the puck once again back on his stick. Benedictine getting the change. Richard's going to take it up, trying to take advantage of a bad change. He'll take the low percentage shot, and it looks like it's stuck between the pad and the post. Save made by Jeremy Aid. 6:42 left to go in this first period. 0-0 the score. Face off once again. Going to be taken to that left side of Aid's crease, our right side. Lazar to take this draw, and he'll win it back. And here Richard takes the shot, goes right at Lazar. Some friendly fire that time. You could see him try to jump out of the way. Got him right on the chest. Seems to be all right, though. Here's a shot from right out front, Max Brokaw. This one flipped up And on the near side boards, Cam Mayhew going to pick it up back in his own territory. He'll put on the brakes, sending it up to Max Brokaw. Brokaw leaving it to Ursepke. Ursepke up to Axel Schneider. It's a one-on-one. Here's another shot from this near side boards. Not a lot of high percentage chances from out wide. Here, a pass goes right to Urzepka, excuse me. And into the slot eventually, having the opportunity was Aiden Hogg, but he wasn't able to pull the trigger until he got a bump. And now this one's just going to be barely offsides as Shaker tries to move in transition. 5:50 left to go in the first period. So, as we mentioned, Shaker Heights ranked number 20 in the OHSA rankings. Benedictine, on the other hand, number 32. And right now, Shaker Heights does seem like the more complete team, you could say, but Benedictine is still definitely able to hold their own for right now. A couple more big bursts of speed could really give them the advantage. Shaker, on the other hand, just unable to really put some quality shots on when they have sustained pressure. They're looking for the better chances. Which, don't get me wrong, they're leading in shots on goal 10-4. But you could argue that some of Benedictine's chances were of higher quality. So here, cross ice feed to Lappin. Lappin banks it off the far side boards, and as it goes in, giving chase this time is number 17, Isaac James of the Red Raiders. Back up to the point. Here comes the shot from McGinnis, looking for a rebound, was James, Hannah, or Lappin of this third line. But as this one's dumped down, we'll get the hand raise, the whistle, and the icing call. 5:20 left to go here in the first period. Faceoff goes right back to where we had it. First line forwards come out for Shaker, and it looks like first line defense will follow suit. Looking for another couple moments of sustained pressure if they could get it. It definitely has been a first line that has proven themselves for Shaker. They're definitely the squad that's able to keep the puck on their sticks and actually set up here. Richard right out in front, looks for Connor Mayhew to get that cross net pass to find its way on net, but unfortunately not the case. 5 minutes left to go in this first period. We're 10 minutes through, but we're still at a scoreless stalemate. Here, Benedictine moving it up, throwing off the play that time. That was number 25 on defense here, Connor Mayhew looking for the shot, and of course for Shaker, that number 25 is Borstein. Van Borstein, one of these new guys to the varsity squad here. Arth somehow making his way through two Bengals. Looking for the rebound chance is Connor Mayhew, in the alternate captain puts it in on the rebound. Shaker Heights with the very first goal of the tournament. And actually, you know, something we forgot to talk about is the puck in the net picks. The reason you just saw Colby Mayhew take a moment and look at the broadcast, that was his puck in the net pick. That was his brother, Connor Mayhew. On the other hand, what was your pick? The cameraman, what was your pick? He picked Colin Arth. We'll see if that holds true, who he had the assist. Here, the Nashville Predators goal song. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it ringing throughout Thornton Park as Shaker, as mentioned, got the very first goal of their host tournament. But now here, looking to respond, the Bengals quickly. Burst of speed. Man, this came out of left field. But Shaker Heights looking to get another response of their own. Here's Max Brokaw taking it up the far side. Try to center it over to Axel Schneider. Isaac Lazar now trying to pressure for the puck back to get an offensive zone turnover. Here, McGinnis against Urzepka. Delayed offsides. The Bengals need a touch-up in the neutral zone, and eventually they do. Here, Cam Mayhew over to the near side, Brokaw. Brokaw to Isaac Lazar, and in transition through the neutral zone. Lazar just going to rip the shot from the neutral zone. Easy save for Aiden. He'll just cover this one up for the face-off. So with the cameraman Jeffrey Ullum taking Colin Arth, that leaves me to pick a defenseman. And I'm going to be taking Cole Richard. He's already ripped some solid shots to start things out, and I'm really confident that he can honestly pop one through. Shaker with the 1-0 lead. You already saw Colby Mayhew get his puck in the net pick to go. So shout out to the flag waver here. Whenever Shaker Heights scores a goal, you will see him run from one side of the stands to the other. Here out of the face-off. Shaker Heights with puck possession, trying to get it over to Ursepke, and eventually it'll get to his stick. Here, rebound opportunity. And how did that one not go through? Wide open part of that net. Aid looked very vulnerable, but it just seemed like no one could get good contact right off the stick. And so here's Isaac James looking for another centering feed. That shot blocked by a Bengal in front, and now it looks like the net must be out of place. So 3:22 left to go in the first period. First line's back out, offense and defense. So that'll be all of your puck in the net picks right out there for the men in white and red. Arth dropping down to take the draw. He'll win it back to his winger, Juan, and then Connor Mayhew with a great rebound opportunity, and the shot goes wide. Might have gotten a piece of aid, but regardless, didn't make it into the back of the net. That's kind of what matters. Connor Mayhew back with it. He'll send it behind the net of Arth. Arth tried to drop it off to Juan, who was making his way into the slot and trying to get a shot away. Here, Juan lays the body along the near side boards. Richard dumps it into the far side corner. Looking for one of his Red Raiders to get there first. Now Richard will get it back over on the near side. Man, he is playing with some great energy right now. He really wants to win this game and go into the semifinal of the Thornton Park tournament. Again, only an 8-team tournament, so it's not exactly the hardest that we're going to see throughout the season for either of these teams. Great move that time. Cole Richard behind the net of Marios Kalergis. And now here, Connor Mayhew looking for a nifty move. He'll take the shot, and somehow that snuck through. You can see Jeremy Aid not satisfied with that one. Should have been an easier save than he made it look, but Shaker Heights will double this lead on now their second goal from Connor Mayhew. Good stuff out of Shaker Heights. This is the kind of energy they needed, the kind of goals we needed to see out of them, especially coming off of that rivalry loss to Gilmore Academy. 5-0 was your final last Sunday. It was my first game back in town, and there were a lot of takeaways from that game, a lot of positive takeaways as well. You could see that Shaker Heights this season, it's a lot of youth. It's not a whole lot of size, but that's okay, as long as you're able to use your speed. And so far, Shaker Heights has been able to do just that. Here's a 2-on-1 developing, but a good poke check that time from Dylan Ersepke ends the threat before any shot is put away. Max Brokaw tries to dangle a man in the neutral zone along the blue line of the Benedictine zone. Less than 2 minutes to go. Benedictine tries to get something going. Now Brokaw back with it. Brokaw trying to get another one going along that blue line. Once again, unable to stick with it. Just about 100 seconds left to go. Minute 40. Max Brokaw along that far side along the blue line. He's just going to dump this one down, as he can tell. And he needs to get the change going. So on the dump and chase, we'll get a couple of new bodies out there. Elliot Hanna out of the scrum along the blue line. Tries to get it in that corner. He'll lay the body as well. So a Bengal goes down on that side. Taking the hit was number 21, Zeke Barlett. And behind the net, Lappin looking for it. Lappin trying to center it out in front, nothing doing. Benedictine tries to clear it away, but Ersepke gets there first, rips the shot, but just in the nick of time, Bucci able to make the block happen. So Shaker Heights with a pass all the way up to Lappin. Great pass. Lappin with the shot. Trying to get the rebound was Elliot Hanna, but instead it will actually bounce back to his stick, and eventually flying in is Cole Richard. Richard looking for the shot. It's poked away as there were all 5 Bengals out on the ice, set up in that slot. Here's a shot all the way from the red line of center ice. Losing his footing for just a second there was Borstein. Controlling it here is Arth in the Red Raiders zone. Mayhew going to drop it back off to Arth, and here we go. Here's some of that bursts of speed that we like to see out of Shaker Heights, and that's going to be their identity more so this year than any other. This one sent all the way down. Cole Richard getting there first in the Red Raiders side. He'll put on the brakes, make a man fall down to the ice here in the near side quarter. That was Erzepka. And now here Mayhew just offside as they try to move in transition. 17 seconds left to go here in this first period. 2-0. Your score with 2 goals coming from that man. Now we just mentioned the man that was unfortunately entering offsides, and that was Connor Mayhew. Arth to take this face-off up against number 17, Aiden Hogg. Or excuse me, no, he'll switch out. So instead it'll be taken by number 6, Roulette. Zepka getting checked up on before he made his way to the bench. Must have been because of that harsh tumble in the corner. Here, this one off the glass. Or Sepke getting there first. There's Sepke sends it down the near side boards, and around the boards we go. Mayhew trying to get there first. He'll take the shot, looking for a first period hat trick. Unfortunately, though, for Benedictine, or for Shaker, the save is made by Benedictine's Jeremy Aid. So Shaker Heights with the first period lead as we go in to the first intermission. 2-0 your score. Shaker Heights, as we mentioned, speed going to be a huge part of their identity this season, and so far they are using it to their advantage, making some more sustained pressure happen, keep the puck away from the defense, and so far Benedictine just unable to keep up. We'll see if that's something that they can fix going into that first intermission. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call here from the Thornton Park Ice Arena back home in Shaker Heights, Ohio. We'll be back with you for the second period call. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, Shaker Heights varsity hockey fans. Welcome back into the Thornton Park Ice Arena for the first game of the Thornton Park tournament. Now, Shaker Heights entering into this one was ranked 20, Benedictine 32 in the OHSAA state rankings, and right now Shaker Heights is proving why they are that higher ranked team. And entering into this second period, they are leading shots attempted and shots on goal by a large margin. Shots attempted 28-6, shots on goal 19-4. Now, as we saw last year, however, the face-off doesn't exactly keep up with that, no matter how greater a difference level there is in rankings against their opponents. So right now it's pretty even. Benedictine actually leading that 8-7 in penalties so far. Nothing to talk about. There is no power play just yet. Nothing entering into this period either. We'll see if something bad goes down in the name of discipline. We'll let you know. Thank you for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call for this next frame of 15 here for the second period. Entering into this period, Shaker Heights up 2-0. Both goals coming from the alternate captain, Connor Mayhew, set up right in front of your camera here on the left wing of the Red Raider offense. And he'll take it up off the face-off win from Colin Arth. He'll rip the shot off the body of Mason Orzepka. And this one snuck through. Oh, man. I think that was just straight and true. I think Connor Mayhew just got himself the hat trick. Man, 9 seconds into this second period, it's 3-0, 3 goals from your senior on offense. There's Connor Mayhew. How about that? So quickly, we go another face-off here in the neutral zone. Man, that was quick and unexpected, but that's just kind of how Connor Mayhew works. Here, Sebi Juan tries to work it up, halted by Luca Bucci. Juan going to retreat and give it up to the point where Richard goes to Arth. Arth tries to center it back over to Juan, nothing doing. Here's McGinnis. He won't pull the trigger. He had a lane open for just a second there, but decided against it. Mayhew tries to go up top, tries to find the alternate captain, Colin Arth, in front, but once again, nothing doing. So here up the near side, it'll go to number 13 of Benedictine, and that's Ty Jones. Eventually back to the point. Shaker Heights going to be able to clear it out. Sebi Juan and Connor Mayhew giving chase to get that along the blue line. But it's sent back, but it's actually going to be the defenseman. Richard looking to do something with it. On the backhand, tried to misdirect number 27, Jeremy Aid, who remains your goaltender in for the men of Navy Blue. This one goes down the length of the ice. We'll get the hand raise, the whistle. The icing call, 14 minutes left to go here in this second period, but suddenly it's a 3-0 score. And Shaker Heights is in the driver's seat right now. Can Benedictine crawl their way back? As we mentioned last season, they did not have a single win in the Thornton Park tournament. Here, Sepke somehow manages to stick with it and keep it on side. Brokaw looking for the centering feed, nothing doing. This one goes up off a stick and into the ceiling, officially out of play. 13-15 left to go here in the second period. Man, so Shaker Heights, if they can take a victory out of this and just one more, which they haven't had in a long time, they have not reached that final game of their host tournament in a minute. That would be huge for the momentum that Shaker Heights can get. This one, a rebound chance. Now here in the high slot, Lazar tried to pick it back up, but now Cam Mayhew, the guy who just missed it for an extra second there in the neutral zone, so he retreat all the way back, eventually into the backboards, behind Marios Kalergis. Poked up, Axel Schneider. Schneider able to move around number one, and now here's a 2-on-1 if they hurry. Isaac Lazar tried to take the backhanded shot, but it was just taking too many skips off of his stick. Wasn't able to exactly corral it for a good shot here. Schneider trying to center it back over to Lazar, but he's basically double-teamed in coverage. Now here, in the near sideboards, taking a tumble was Dylan Orzepke. In the corner boards, Max Brokaw keeps it. Under pressure, he'll send it away to Dylan Orzepke. Orzepke to Lazar. Lazar pins up a bangle against the boards, trying to get it back. But now here, this one goes free to number 10, Vincent Nixon. And now it'll fly up into the opposite side boards. Brokaw to Lazar. Wide open opportunity. Unable to get it going. Brokaw on the second chance. Save made by Jeremy Aid. And oh man, Jeremy Ade had to stay on his feet that time. He had to be aware every second of that exchange. With 12:38 left to go, Shaker Heights has already scored. If he lets one more through, it could feel like a lost cause already for Benedictine. Face-off moved to the Benedictine zone, just outside of their zone, to the left side of Jeremy Ade. It's 1 over to Colin Arth, and a good poke check here from number 17, Aiden Hogg, will make a race take place between himself and Teddy McGinnis. McGinnis will get there on the far side. McGinnis banks it off the boards. He'll get back to it. McGinnis, cross ice, Connor Mayhew. Mayhew rips the shot, missed it. Here it's centered over, and a phenomenal glove save by Jeremy Ade, keeping this a 3-goal game. What a phenomenal snag of the left-handed glove. Man, oh man. As we said, he's not the tallest, but as long as he's quick enough, that'll make for a good goaltender. And right there, you're seeing why he is the starting man here for the Bengals. Man, what a save out of Jeremy. So now here to the point. Here comes a shot blocked. Shot coming from Cole Richard. Again, my puck in the net pick. We had the cameraman Jeffrey Ellum going for the puck in the net pick of Colin Arth. Connor Mayhew already had his puck in the net pick. Hit 3 different times with a hat trick of Connor Mayhew early in this one. Here just kept in along the blue line. Cole Richard sends it up, finds Colin Arth. My puck in the net pick to his. And now Cole Richard back with it. He'll keep it into the zone. Connor Mayhew tries to get it back and throw the puck down onto his stick. This is just barely kept onside. Arth sticking with it along the near side boards, tries to center it back over to Sebi Wan, nothing doing. Connection not there. Richard will take a hard rip at it, but a butterfly save made by Jeremy Ade once more. Some great saves out of number 27, the netminder here for Benedictine. Unfortunately, however, he is on the 3-0 deficit. Right now, Shaker Heights is winning the face-off so far in the second period, 4-2. We'll see how it'll go going into the 7th face-off of what is still the early stages of the second period. Here, Gavi Lappin talking back to Graham Borstein. We're just awaiting a face-off. Eventually, it looks like we'll get it. Not exactly sure what the miscommunication was, but eventually this one's sent back. Here's the shot from Borstein, blocked, 2 bodies in the lane. Now here's a 3-on-3 rush. Elliot Hanna, a guy that was on defense all of last year. This season acting as a forward. Here's a shot, rebound opportunity. That time for number 28, Reggie Fitzgordon, had a wide open opportunity, it seemed, but just unable to put it on net. It went wide. Maybe not exactly able to get good contact off the stick. Reggie Fitzgordon getting his first minutes of the game. He enters into the game not exactly on the first, second, or third line. He's in there as a replacement on of the third line if he so chose. Of course, Matt Bartley, your head coach, still for Shaker Heights. Ryan Kress, the same for Benedictine. Here comes the shot that goes wide. Cam Mayhew tried his luck. Here's a second opportunity. Stick save. Goes wide once more. Isaac Lazar working with Cam Mayhew to get puck possession back to the Red Raiders. And with a lift all the way up, it'll hit off the boards behind the net of Jeremy Ade. Shaker Heights really not letting the Bengals clear it just yet. Eventually it will to the neutral zone, but Shaker with all of the possession and, again, all of the sustained pressure here through the first 5 minutes. Just about 10 minutes left to go here in this second period. And here, the hand raised whistle, icing call. We're going back to that Benedictine side. So far to this point, shots on goal 6-0 here in the second period. Of course, Shaker Heights with an early goal, only 9 seconds into that second period, coming from Connor Mayhew, who topped off the hat trick. Here's Colin Arth. Arth holds, waits, cross-ice feed, was looking for Cole Richard. Richard off the boards, will go for the shot, and now here right in front. Looks for the shot as Sebi Juan, but nothing doing as once again Jeremy Ade able to cover up with the left-handed glove. He'll keep it a 3-0 score. Now just under 10 minutes left to go. Here in the second frame. Arth here up against Roulette. Arth will win it back. He'll find Juan. Juan immediately poke checked from. Will get it right out in front for Arth. Arth's shot is saved by Jeremy Aid once more. Battle for puck possession. It's Arth up against 3 Bengals, and eventually the Bengals with numbers will get it back. But here, almost a bad turnover to Sebi Juan. Shaker would have had a lot of space to maneuver as Benedictine was looking to go in transition. However, as the pass We're back with you where we had some technical difficulties. 2 minutes 40 left to go in this second period. Right now, Benedictine with a little bit of sustained pressure here. The tip right out in front. Does it sneak through? No. Somehow ended up wide and behind the net of Marios Kalergis. Now here the pass all the way up to Brokaw. They say it's offsides. Man, oh man. It'll be an icing on Shaker then, due to Max Brokaw not being allowed to touch up. So again, apologies for the technical difficulties. What you missed is, I suppose, a goal from Benedictine. I don't exactly remember when that 4th goal came in from Connor Mayhew. Mayhew with all 4 goals to this point for Shaker Heights. So it's a 4-1 score to the advantage of your home team. The Red Raiders here in white and red. Benedictine, again, in the navy blue and light blue and white accents. But Shaker Heights, as mentioned before, in the driver's seat with the 3-goal lead. Here's Cole Richard. Richard unable to send it to one of his own teammates. They're all covered up here. A rebound chance out in front. Kaler just holds it up. Now here to the near side corner of the Red Raiders side. McGinnis plays the man, not the puck, so it allows the pass up in front of the crease, but Shaker defense able to get back to it. Here, 2-on-2 battle for the puck possession. This one just flips offside. Number 1, Will Eschke, unable to control it. 1:50 left to go in this second period. 4-1 the score. Connor Mayhew, your lone goal scorer for the Raiders so far. Your shot from the point goes wide off to the right side. That shot coming from Liam Kangas. Unable to throw it back into the zone. Eventually, lane will open up. Teddy McGinnis holds it, gets it away from number 11, Logan Heston, and eventually up to Connor Mayhew. Mayhew sending it all the way up to Colin Arth. Arth up against 1 defenseman. He'll drop it off to Mayhew. Here, Arth with a great rebound chance, and eventually it'll fly in. At first he said no goal, but then it looks like it took an extra bounce and hopped over the goal line. So Shaker Heights ups that lead once again to 4. It's a 5-1 score. Well, there you go. There's our cameraman Jeffrey Ellum's puck in the net pick. Colin Arth able to get his name on the score sheet. Had a couple assists before, of course, with Connor Mayhew popping multiple through. But Arth that time heads up on the rebound. Arth remains out there, but we get the second, or excuse me, I suppose Arth and Juan remain out there, but instead of Connor Mayhew staying put, they actually throw out Axel Schneider. Here, Axel Schneider on the tip, tried to get it to go on net, instead it went very wide off to the left side. Now here, battle for the puck possession. 2 Bengals up against 1 Raider, that 1 Raider being Graham Borstein. Here, cross ice feed goes to Arth. Arth unable to keep it on his stick in the neutral zone. He stays out there with Juan and Schneider. Maybe Mayhew just had a bit of a longer shift, so decided to pull him earlier. 20 seconds left to go in the second period. Here's number 3, Mason Rzepka. Rzepka tries to drop it back here. An extra flip goes right onto the glove. Of number 1, Marios Kalergis. So shots on goal has evened up a lot more. As now it's 14-11. Benedictine with a lot more opportunities here in these late stages of the period. 10 seconds left to go. Shaker Heights will clear it unless they're able to get back to the puck, and they are not able to. Looks like this one will just die off in the neutral zone. And in neutral possession, Isaac Lazar unable to get a backhanded shot off that time, and so we go in to the second intermission at a 4-goal differential. Went in with a 2-goal differential that is now doubled. However, Benedictine finds the scoreboard as well. Colin Arth joining the names, 2. So with that, Shaker Heights, as we mentioned before, in the driver's seat. Will they be able to close this out? Will Benedictine be able to take a big road victory here to start things out and finally get that Thornton Park tournament victory that they oh so need? We'll see. It's 4 goals to make up. No easy feat for the Bengals, but we will find out in the final 15 minutes of the game. Thank you for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call. We'll be right back with you for coverage of the third period. Hello, Shaker Heights varsity hockey fans. Welcome into the third period of your first game in the Thornton Park tournament. Shaker Heights and their host tournament. They're entering into this one with a 5-1 lead over Benedictine, and right now they control the stats. Shots attempted 53-18, and they also doubled them up again in that last period, 25-12. But here's where it matters, is that Benedictine came out in that second period with a lot more shots on goal. As opposed to 4 in the first, they had 11 in the second, adding up to a total of 15. Shaker, on the other end, still does have them more than doubled up. They have 33 across both periods, but they slowed down in that second period with only 14. So it'll be interesting to see if Benedictine can continue to grow into this game and try to mount some sort of comeback. Still no penalties to this point, but face-offs, Shaker Heights did come out in that second period and do a lot better. We're going to send you down to the ice. I'll be on the play-by-play, Vaughn Ullum, with you here at the Thornton Park Ice Arena, back home here in Shaker Heights, Ohio. 15 minutes left to go. So at the beginning, all 4 goals scored came from Connor Mayhew. Now, Connor Mayhew, as we mentioned last season, he was just absolutely phenomenal. He led the team in goals scored. No different here in this game. He has just been on an absolute tear. First 4 goals of the game came off the stick of number 6, who's currently held up along the left wing. But then it was a goal to be scored by number 17 of Benedictine. And if I'm not mistaken, indeed that's correct. That's Aiden Hogg. And then for Shaker Heights, adding his name to the score sheet was Colin Arth with an assist from Connor Mayhew. So Mayhew with 5 points to this point. Sebi Juan with a cross-ice feed looking for Arth. Arth trying to get it back. Now over to Cole. Richard pops it through the 5-hole. How about that? All of our puck in the net picks hit. And oh my goodness, our cameraman didn't do his job. Hey guys, this is our first game back. So sometimes we're just going to start off slow. Cole Richard did find it through the 5-hole. He got the goal. It's 6-1 now your score. But how about that? That was my puck in the net pick. Obviously, Colby Mayhew's hit quite early on with 4 goals coming from his puck in the net pick, Connor Mayhew. Then we saw Colin Arth, the cameraman who didn't do his job. Jeffrey Ullum, that was his puck in the net pick. And my own, there you go, the defenseman, adding his name to the goals scored here this evening. So 14 minutes left to go here in the third and final period. Along the Red Raider blue line, this one picked up by Dylan Ursepke as he drops back, sends it up onto the skate of Axel Schneider. Schneider unable to exactly get the motor going. And here just barely onside as he's thrown down to the ice. Isaac Lazar dumps it through. Axel Schneider, Dylan Ursepke along the near side, and eventually Max Brokaw. They're just standing there waiting for the puck to come. You could hear the yell from head coach Matt Bartley of the Red Raiders. You could hear him yell, "Go get it." That's exactly what the Red Raiders need to do. And as we mentioned earlier, identity of team. Shaker Heights, a team that has speed, a team that has this quickness and efficiency out there on the ice. This is a team that needs to be maybe more aggressive when it comes to that, because if you have speed but no drive to actually use it, then where's that going to get you as a hockey team? So here, this one poked ahead by Reggie Fitzgordon. Fitzgordon up to Ursepke, the defenseman, unable to exactly maneuver around number 14, Liam Kangas. And now this one behind the net of Aid, sent back through. Behind the net once again, it's sent around Fitzgordon, giving chase both times, but unable to actually pick it up. Lappin and Hannah, still the other two, on that forward line with him. Here, Hannah tried to send it up, hopefully trying to find a moving Fitzgordon, but he was unable to stick with it. Here, Scott tangled up with Lappin. They both go down, and Lappin's actually going to go off for a change. Here comes a shot off the stick of a man in front. That's number 21, Zeke Bartlett. And now here comes a rush for Benedictine. Bartlett with a shot, and an easy, or at least he made it look easy, glove save out of Kalergis. 12:26 left to go here in the third and final period at the Thornton Park Ice Arena. After this one, we have slated, of course, we're not going to be broadcasting. We're just back here with you, Shaker Heights High School hockey fans. But after this one, what will take place is Hudson against Padua. Padua's expected to be the victor of that one, but you never know. It is high school hockey, of course. Not everything tends to be consistent at this level. And then what you have later on tomorrow, here Colin Arth taking it up the left wing, poked away from, maybe you can get it back. But what you have tomorrow is Rocky River versus Bowling Green, and that's going to be a tough one. Here comes the shot from Arth. This one save made by Jeremy Aid. And we'll see if Benedictine can clear it away. But Rocky River Bowling Green could be actually one of the best games of the tournament at all. And Bowling Green ranked very highly in the OHSAA state rankings. And then you have Rocky River, who won the tournament last year. So we'll see how that turns out. Walsh, Jesuit, and Menor then take the final slot of the first round. That will be at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. This one's sent up. That'll be an icing on Benedictine with 11:31 to go in the third. But yeah, Shaker Heights with the victory here. We'll move on to the 5:45 p.m. slot tomorrow, or not tomorrow, on Saturday. With a loss, Shaker Heights or Benedictine would go on to play Saturday morning at 11:30. But again, still plenty of time here. Not exactly a whole lot of time. 5-goal difference is a sizable one. That's the largest lead that we have had all day for Shaker. Here comes a shot. That time off the stick of Cam Mayhew, but it'll also hit the man right in front of him. The only goal scorer for Benedictine, that's Aiden Hogg. And out of play it goes. So here we're going to get a face-off once again from Roulette and Lazar. This one kept in the face-off circle. Brokaw tried to send it deeper into the zone. Instead, it's picked up by number 1, Will Esky. And he'll put on the brakes right in front of the referee, set up there in the far side corner of that Benedictine zone. And now here comes a rush out of number 6. Number 6 is Max Roulette. And here just barely offside, so he'll take that skate all the way back to the neutral zone with his head down. But now a huge hit in the open ice in the neutral zone, and they're actually going to rule this as a penalty. Roulette arguing that it was a fair and clean hit. And now referee calling him over because he gave an extra shove to the head of Max Brokaw there in the neutral zone. Don't think they're going to call him on that, however. And the Benedictine coach yelling at the goaltender here to close the door to the penalty box. It looks like he's going to get off. I agree it was a clean hit. Not exactly sure. Why did they blow the play dead? I suppose it was offsides. That was, I suppose, the confusion from me and the players. Of course, the backup goaltender, number 34, Mate Bam, thought that would result in a penalty. But yeah, you saw that time the referee still wanted a word with Roulette. It was a clean hit, and that is the right call. It was just offsides that brought the play dead. So here Cole Richard in the neutral zone, skating it up, taken away. But now here in the open ice of the Benedictine zone, Benedictine controls. This one's sent up off the body of Teddy McGinnis. All the way up here, controlling it is Heston. Heston tried to send it up, and now this one cleared away by Lappin. And a burst of speed creates an odd man and a breakaway chance for Lappin, and he'll bury it home on the backhand. So Shaker Heights now with a 6-goal lead with 10:10 to go. Gavi Lappin adding his name to the score sheet. He'll be first in line of the fist bumps, and how about that? And looks like we're getting a new puck. Might be because that was his very first varsity goal. Not positive, but that makes sense for the new name. So Lappin, goal number 7 out here for Shaker Heights. 7-1 now your score. Great breakaway opportunity. He just used that speed that we talked so much about and just split the 2 defensemen and made it all happen on his own. So now Shaker Heights, if they weren't in the driver's seat before, if you didn't believe me before, they're up 6. It's going to be hard to claw back now. You never know. Benedictine holds on to it in their own zone. It's number 1, Will Esky. Trying to send it forward, now stolen away by Colin Arth. Colin Arth makes it all happen himself, hits it off the iron, trying to get it back. Here's one, and a glove save made by Jeremy Aid. Great opportunity. Arth was looking for his second of the game, just unable to sneak it through. Man, oh man, great opportunity. You can see now around the ice here at Thornton Park, you can see the Hudson Explorers guys, and you can see the Padua Franciscan Bruins players as well, watching over this game. As regardless of whoever wins or loses, they're going to be playing one of these two teams out on the ice next. Here, pass to Reggie Fitzgordon. Fitzgordon trying to get back. Now McGinnis. McGinnis working with Schmidt. Schmidt sends it around, and a harsh hit along the near side point, thrown down to the ice. So get back up. Man, Schmidt's first minutes, and now it's a 2-on-0 the other way. Rulick goes for the shot himself, and a save is made by Kalergis. Elected not to go for the pass. You can see here Zepka's facial expression. He was probably hoping for something to come his way. When instead, Rulick decided to pull the trigger all on his own. Didn't work out, though. Kalergis getting some words of appreciation from the Red Raider squad. 9:09 to go in the third. 7-1 your score. Face off one back here to Axel Schneider, or I suppose not one back, honestly one forward, but Axel Schneider with a burst of speed up the right wing, looking for a centering pass, nothing open, so he'll take it all the way and send it up to the point. Here it goes, Richard pulls the trigger, looking for the rebound opportunity. It was Axel Schneider, will skip right past him, however, Benedictine with the opportunity to clear it. Who will win this race? It looks like for a second it was going to be Logan Heston, but instead it'll go back to Shaker. Brokaw leaving it Schneider. Schneider again, up that right wing, looking for a lane to pass. Nothing open. He tried to center it right out in front of the crease, and eventually it'll land on the stick of Brokaw. Brokaw sent down to the ice. We might get a penalty here for interference. And it'll be on number 7, Will Milan. We'll see what the official verdict is, but that makes sense. Oh, it's cross-checking. Still, he was cross-checking a player that was very off the puck. So, regardless, could have gone either way. 8:30 remaining in the third period. First penalty of the game. Man, it has been a very disciplined game. Shaker Heights without a single penalty to their name.
The Benedictine penalty is to number 7, Will Milan. 2 minutes for cross-checking at 8:29.
So Milan sitting in the box for 2. Faulty face-off to start things out. But now Shaker will get their first look on the power play here as we continue our broadcasting. This one might have gone off the cage of Jeremy Aid. Here Connor Mayhew trying to get back to it, but instead the other number 6 on the ice, the one in navy blue, will get there first as Roulette sends it away. And here Colin Arth keeps it up. Bumped off the puck for an extra second. It's going to be number 17 of Benedictine. And again, that's the one goal scorer for Benedictine, Aiden Hogg, to be the one to clear it away. So that's a good 30 seconds off the penalty. Less than 8 minutes to go now in the third period. This one dropped off to Arth. Arth unable to stick with it. Richard also went down, so this could create a shorthanded opportunity for Aiden Hogg. Hogg tries to deke around Connor Mayhew, but that's his game. So he knows it all too well. He's going to try to do something himself here on the backhand. There's no way that snuck through. And it did not. Hanging his head to the head, or excuse me, hanging his head to the sky is Connor Mayhew. Thought he could have snuck that one on by the left pad. But unfortunately for him, Jeremy Aid not letting goal number 5 sneak on pass. So just about nearing the halfway point, near in the third period. Cam Mayhew takes it off the draw, sends it to the far side, or Sepke on the shot. That'll go wide. Now this one clears on down as number 1 of Benedictine took it away. That was Will Eske again. We'll see what happens here. Max Brokaw, the intended target of that cross-ice feed, but it just went very far out in front of his stick on the outstretched pass. We're going to get an icing on Shaker here, even though they're on the power play. So not exactly the cleanest power play we've seen. Even against Gilmore, the power play looked pretty solid. Actually, that's not true. They let a couple short-handed chances sneak through. But still, sustained pressure was a lot better. So do with that as you will. Of course, short-handed goals, never what you want to see. But if you could take a positive away from it, it would be that. Referee right in the middle of that scrum here, just almost kept in along the blue line. Cam Mayhew tried to take puck possession. And now Lappin takes it up the left wing, looking for a pass out in front. Isaac Lazar tried to get the tip on net. It just went wide to the right side. 10 seconds left to go on the penalty. Here's Cam Mayhew looking for a shot, and here the tip, and it goes wide. Lappin looking for goal number 2 as well. Will this clear out of the zone? No, Brokaw with the puck on his stick. Sends it up, out in front, looking for the tip was Orsepke. Brokaw gets it back. Now out in front. Lappin tries to sneak it through. An extra push and shove after the whistle. As we are back to even strength for both squads. 6:21 to go in this third period. On the face-off, Hannah trying to get over to it first. The man on the face-off there was Sam Lippman. Hannah back with it. Hannah unable to control it. It'll just go off sides. McGinnis didn't realize it was going to sneak past him until just too late. Here's Borstein holding up number 11, Heston, for Benedictine along the blue line. And oh, wow, that is a soft interference, but interference nonetheless. As Graham Borstein, a man who hasn't had a whole lot of minutes, takes the box. Bit of a harsh interference call, but it is fair. He didn't exactly play the puck whatsoever on that. Went straight to number 11, Logan Heston, to try and hold him back from winning the race to the puck in the Red Raider zone. So now we're going to get our first look at the Red Raider penalty kill very late into this one. Shaker up 6. Shouldn't exactly be the end of the world if they fail to kill this one, but no one will complain on the Red Raider side, especially Matt Bartley, who's looking for a better special teams unit. And this one's cleared down. Juan trying to get there first. This could create a breakaway, and just sent into the corner. He was pressured from behind, so it makes sense. That's the safe option. 5:20 left to go in the third period. This cross-ice feed goes right back to a Red Raider stick in the form of Colin Arth. He's going to try to make something happen on the shorthand. Centering pass to Sebi Juan goes awry, and now it's a 2-on-2, 3-on-2 rush the other way to the advantage of Benedictine. Here, blocker save. Swept away, rule it back out for Benedictine. He's the guy that had that big open ice hit earlier on in the period in the neutral zone. Again, no penalty was assessed, even though a lot of people thought there would be one. But it was a clean hit nonetheless. This could be a great opportunity, though that pass just out of the reach of Arth. Can he get back in time? No, not exactly. Looking for a wraparound, trying to center it back up to Axel Schneider. So Shaker Heights with a couple of shorthanded opportunities, but they're not exactly looking for any sustained pressure on the shorthand, which is always what you kind of typically want out of a coach. Just considering the fact that if you start to build more of an offensive pressure with one man less, that opens the door to a lot of opportunity the other way for the team with the man advantage to get something through. So 4.5 remaining in the third period. 7-1 the score. Schneider trying to take this off the draw, and eventually he'll get it with the help of Connor Mayhew. Bit of a mix-up of lines, both offense and defense. But of course, on the special teams unit, that's nothing too crazy. You have Mayhew, Cam Mayhew that is. Cam Mayhew and Dylan Orsepke working together on offense. Axel Schneider and Connor Mayhew. 5 seconds remaining. Graham Borstein trying to get a single of whether he should head to the bench or if he should join the play, and indeed he's going to head to the bench. So we'll see who comes out to the ice. It's going to be Elliot Hanna, Max Brokaw, and Isaac Lazar. So we actually still will get a different combination of lines. 3:40 left to go in this third period. Brokaw hangs onto it on the backhand, sends it up. Isaac Lazar. It's a 2-on-1 if he hurries. He's got Elliot Hanna over to the left, but it's just offsides. So with 3.5 remaining, we're going to be seeing on defense James Schmidt at left defense. On right, you're going to be seeing Cole Richard. On offense, the same 3 stick out there. So Isaac Lazar going to take this face-off up against Bartlett. Taking it back is going to be the men in red. So here comes Richard. Richard takes the rip at it. It'll go wide. Schmidt getting back up to the point to try and keep it in the zone. And indeed, with a burst of speed, he'll be able to do so. Here in the slot, the high slot, it's taken over by the Bengals. Here's Scott. Scott sends it up. Not a whole lot of speed on number 8, Shinja Scott, but he's able to dump this one forward. This one kept in play off the glass. Here a pass into the near side face-off dot, trying to get it back that time was number 21 Bartlett, but it won't work out. Here's Brokaw. Here could be another 2-on-1 rush if they hurry, or the centering pass off the stick of the man in front of him, or I suppose between him and Hannah, and that was Liam Kangas. Brokaw looking for the opportunity there on a shot that didn't exactly have a whole lot of oomph after it took a bounce off of a Bengal in front. In the neutral zone, Brokaw asks for it once more. He'll lose it to Reggie Fitzgordon. Fitzgordon on the shot. Great glove save by Jeremy Aid, keeping this a 6-goal differential. And a 7-1 score, 2:28 left to go in the third. Faceoff will be back over in that Benedictine zone. Lappin to take this face-off. He'll win it back. Ooh. Just skipped past Graham Borstein, tried to get back through it. Here's Hogg. Hogg on the shot. Kalair just hoping that it's between his legs as he opens up, and indeed it is, as the play is blown dead. Great opportunity that time by Aiden Hogg. Good shot off of number 17 as well. Again, he's the lone goal scorer for the Bengals. Goal coming in that second period. Here Lippman pressuring Zepka to get a shot away, and indeed he's going to send it. But an easy save for Kalair. Just face-off comes right back to where we last had it. So now here, this one gonna sneak through, poked away by Kalair, just and up and into the netting. Well, if you haven't had enough of the face-off here in the near side dot of the Red Raiders zone, you're gonna get one more at least. 2:07 to go in the third. Here just kept onside. Reggie Fitzgordon able to clear it away and into the neutral zone. Benedictine just dumps it through. On defense right now, it's Borstein and McGinnis. McGinnis trying to leave it that time to Lippman. Lippman beaten by Hogg. Hogg looking for another shot and hopefully for himself another goal on the score sheet, but nothing doing. Roulet and Eski unable to get anything through either. So on the blue line, it's taken away. Here's Lappin. He's got a goal for the Red Raiders as well. We believe to be his first of the varsity season. Lippman fighting for puck possession. He'll beat out Roulet. But unfortunately, though he kept puck possession, it goes out of the zone. Here's Borstein. Borstein skates it up and through. He'll send it around the boards. Eventually getting over to it is Elliot Hanna. Hanna looks to center it over. Brokaw on the shot. It'll go wide off to the right. He tried to move it over to his forehand, but in doing so, just kind of lost control of it out in front of the crease of Aid. So now, around the boards we go. Hanna going to be the first guy there. He'll poke it up to the point. Here comes the rip from Dylan Orsepke. It got through the traffic with 58 seconds left to go. However, Jeremy Aid with another save to his name. This face-off one back to the winger, Max Brokaw. Brokaw looks for the shot. The shot goes wide off to the left. This one wraps all the way around. Max Brokaw going to be the first guy there. Excuse the fans in front. But now back to the neutral zone. Luckily, with the way the puck traveled on that play, not a whole lot you missed. Here, Elliot Hanna behind the net of Jeremy Aid, looking for a centering pass behind the net. That time looking for something was Isaac James, who's back out onto the ice. Shaker Heights giving a lot more minutes to the guys that haven't had a ton earlier in this game, because Shaker Heights knows that if they blow a 6-goal lead with 15 seconds left, they're going to have bigger fish to fry. So here comes Cam Mayhew, skating it through and trying to send it up through the blue line, but with 10.5 seconds remaining, we're going to get the offsides. Here on the right wing, we're seeing Lippman taking the face off Lappin. And on the left side, Reggie Fitzgordon. On defense, Cam Mayhew and Dylan Orsepke. Here, Lapkin just tries to send this one on net, or maybe not. He just tries to dump it through. Lippman looking for a centering pass. Nothing doing as Lappin couldn't exactly get there in time. Gives an extra little shove over to number 14, Liam Kangas. But at the end of the day, Shaker Heights will come away with the big-time victory, one of their biggest of the early season so far, as now they are, I believe, 4-3. They entered into this one 3-3 per Max Preps. Shaker Heights, with the 7-1 victory, will move on to the Saturday semifinal game, and that's going to be, as we mentioned earlier, against either Padua Franciscan, old GLHL rival, or the Hudson Explorers, who they actually faced last season in the OHSAA postseason. Shaker Heights, I believe, got the victory there 7-3. But Shaker Heights, with a big victory here today, there's a lot of positives to take out. A lot of good sustained pressure out of Shaker, which, as we also mentioned earlier, didn't have a whole lot of last season. Last season was a lot of bursts, a lot of big momentum shifts that would eventually get them a goal or stuff like that. But Shaker Heights here today, they use their speed to keep the puck as their own and make chances happen through elongated shifts in the offensive zone. So here today, with the shots attempted, they led 72-28, and then the shots on goal, they more than doubled them up. It was 47-23 in shots on goal. Face-offs, pretty even, which is as expected, and is how it has typically gone for Shaker Heights. Face-offs never exactly been their typical way of winning, not exactly taking the possession off the draw. It's about fighting for the possession through the shift. But they only won that by 1, 29-28 your stat there. And for both sides, you saw penalties, but only 1, and they were in the late stages of that third period. Neither team was able to pop one through. But thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call here for the Shaker Heights hockey team once again. We will be back right here once again on the Vaughn Ullum Broadcast YouTube channel. Of course, no longer a student with Shaker Heights, so we can't exactly put it on that Shaker Heights athletics page anymore. So we'll be back here Saturday, 5:45 p.m. Happy to be back with you guys for the Thornton Park Ice Tournament. It'll be against Hudson or Padua. We'll see how that game goes next. Vaughn Ullum, we'll see you next time.